Welcome to the Wrench Factor, where we dive into all things manufacturing, maintenance, and operations, from emerging industry trends to tackling the biggest challenges facing frontline and professionals. Our guests and I will discuss insights from the field, best practices, and strategies to support best-in-class operations. So today we're talking about building supply chain resilience, and I'm excited to welcome Tyler Hufstetler, my colleague here at MaintainX, to the show. It's nice to see you, Tyler.
Hey, Nick. Great to be here. Great to kick this started right here in the first episode. So I'm excited to talk about all the cool things that we're seeing around the market, coming off some really cool shows this year, from Pack Expo to IMTS and a few of the other ones, and some of our partner events that we just came from this week as well. So excited to kick this off.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to share some of those insights with folks that are watching. So let's go ahead and kick things off. I know we're hearing a lot of buzzwords this year around connected manufacturing, Industry 4.0 floating around. But what are the tangible benefits that manufacturers and OEMs can actually expect to see from real-time data sharing? And I'm talking like bottom line impact here, not just fancy tech jargon for the sake of it.
Yeah, so coming off of the large shows like Pack Expo or IMTS that I alluded to just a minute ago, every single manufacturer and all of our joint customers from manufacturers that are there as well, that they're all struggling still with downtime. They hear a lot of buzzwords around Industry 4.0. They hear a lot of things around connected factory, connected ecosystems. Some of them are still struggling on that, which is why we typically get brought into those conversations. Really, at the heart of it, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to solve for, is they want less downtime. They want higher productivity, and all in anticipation for that healthier bottom line. And really, the end results for some of those things, the tangible results when they're tying all of this together, is they're having lower holding costs and they're improving their cash flow for their company. And so the other major takeaway that we saw when leveraging the technology was the data sharing across the entire organization, across the entire ecosystem. That means from the OEM to the end user. So really the historical trend of just being transactional, where a manufacturer might sell or install a piece of equipment, and then sell it and forget, set it once it's installed, walk away. That's really a mindset of the past. Today, manufacturers are selling equipment and they're maintaining that long-term relationship with their customer, with their end user. And they're doing that because they're able to leverage the data off of the machine in order to provide a faster value, faster service to their end users. So really, the end user being able to connect directly with the OEM being able to leverage that data, being able to leverage the off-the-shelf technologies to provide faster parts and services, right? Mm-hmm. All in anticipation for compressing downtime, improving productivity, and at the end of the day, better cash flow for the organization.
It makes sense. And so it's about becoming more data-driven. It's about setting, really connecting a lot of that ecosystem together. I know one of the things that I'm hearing, and I'm sure you are as well, is the implementation hurdles and the questions around this. Like a lot of this machine, a lot of these floors have a mix of modern equipment that's relatively new and have this, OT connectivity functionality. And then there's a lot of legacy equipment, a lot of different data formats and protocols. How are you advising folks, or what is your recommendation to folks that are trying to figure out how do we achieve this seamless data sharing in these kinds of complex environments?
Yeah, no, it's a valid question. So I just came from a event this week with a partner of ours, SAP, up at the North America headquarters, and spent a lot of time with other partners and value-added resellers and those that are working oftentimes in delivering software products to the shop floor. Look, at the end of the day, every single one of those partners, as I'm engaging with them, is talking about, hey, how do we deliver a product faster? Our speed, right? Our time to value, the cost of that product. The mindset or the years of multi-year rollouts for software products is really behind us. The consumer today is really expecting, they're wanting a solution that they can pull out their device. And just like on your iPhone or your device, those apps are interconnected and they're coming out of the box integrated, they're expecting the same thing for their products on the shop floor. So really what they're saying is they want a single user interface. They want a single pane of glass. They want this unified layer to be able to ingest the data and give you the so what. So here's a real world example. One of our customers deploys MaintainX, and inside their technology ecosystem, they have a number of different solutions, right? So they might have vibration sensors, they might have an MES system, they're going to have perhaps their PLC panels that are driving a production line. These are all different tech stacks that are coming in, a lot of different sources of data, and all of that information is flowing into a product like MaintainX because of that our friendly, easy to use API, and being able to ingest it and then give the operator the so what, right? A lot of these solutions are great for identifying, hey, there's a problem on this machine. But where MaintainX is sitting in it, and really where the customers are wanting, is being able to pull in that information, give the so what, and then ultimately be able to push that out into the relevant database of record, right? Into that master data set.
Makes sense. You got to have that time to value. You've got to be able to pull all the relevant information together. And I think the downstream impact of this, of where it gets even more interesting, is that's going to help kind of build that, hopefully that data, that cohesive data foundation that you can start to leverage things like AI and machine learning. And what role do you see, that those technologies taking over the next couple of years, and how will that impact the relationship between manufacturers and OEMs and the broader supply chain?
Yeah, everyone is excited about AI and the opportunity for it to come out. One pull up of the Wall Street Journal and anything on their technology, every single article has to do with AI. The reality is we have to have clean data in order for that to be efficient for our shop floors, for the manufacturing floors. And so what this boils down to is getting master data right. If we can help our customers and our business partners with that clean data, being able to ingest it in order to capture the real relevant information in a tangible, organizable way, then what we're able to do is provide a better outcome, a better product to our end users. You can't start with zero and then expect AI to be helpful for you, but we have to build that data. We have to build that data set in order to help provide that asset health information, in order to help our users understand what's beyond the horizon, what's around the corner, right? When is this machine going to fail? When do I need to anticipate parts? When am I going to anticipate a stock out on a certain product? And so AI is very exciting, and we're excited for it. And that's why we're doing everything we can on the partnership side in order to ingest as much data as we can, in order to enrich records appropriately, hydrate the master data lists, so that way we can provide that better answer to the customer when they're asking, what next? When is this machine going to fail? What do I need to do when this does fail? Who do I need to contact?
That's, that's sort of, it resonates with what I've been hearing as well. A lot of folks have these mandates to, or these like projects right now where they're trying to figure out, what is our AI strategy? How are we going to, move our organization towards enabling those tools to support our operations? And I think a lot of folks want that easy button. They want to say, hey, can we just pull something off the shelf? And it's like a magic lamp with a genie that pops out and tells you everything you need to know. But I'm seeing some folks start to come around to this idea that master data foundation needs to be in place before you can get to that next step.
Yeah. One of the things that is truly exciting when we think about the productivity of the equipment is really learning about the equipment inside my shop floor, right? Inside my facility. How is this performing? How is my team performing against it? And then being able to do the analysis on that much faster. That is genuinely and probably the most exciting aspect of leveraging AI inside manufacturing. Being able to see behind, see beyond the horizon, see beyond the curve in the road, to understand, hey, this is what I'm currently running. These are my production goals. This is where I'm at on my production goals. and then being able to identify the machine performance with it. So you can consistently make those micro adjustments inside your own operations, right? Like that's where we want to get to. But we have to have good data in order to provide the good recommendation to the customer.
And I think that's the piece a lot of folks sometimes miss is, how do you may have that machine sensor data, you may have some of that MES data, but do you have the contextual human data of the work that's being, actioned on those assets to support it? Because I think that's going to be a critical component to helping the AI training models understand, the whole picture of what's going on there. And that's a challenge that I think a lot of folks are facing right now is, what do we do if we don't have that data? And so, which I think goes back to your last point, which is, find that quick win, find those opportunities to reset that data foundation today, or start to build a strategy that can move towards it, getting that data set where you want it to be.
Yeah, and the reason why everyone wants it is so that way they can understand their asset performance, their team's performance faster, so that way they can become proactive, so they can consistently drive better throughput and yield inside their manufacturing facility at a profitable operational cost. So the challenge that we ran into 4 or 5 years ago was everything was all about throughput at all costs, and less focus on profitability. Everybody had to get the order out. And now one of the things that we've seen over the last 18 months or so has been profitability. So all of the customers, all of the partners that we see at some of these large events, at these networking events, or at the trade shows, everyone is hyper focused on their bottom line. Where can I save 5%? Where can I save 10%? Right? Where can I save 3% at times? Right? Just depending on what their gross margins are. And one of the ways that they're trying to do it is they're trying to leverage technology. They have to buy a solution, like ours, because look, if their operations team or if their CEO has a forecast of, hey, we're expecting 20% growth next year, or are they going to grow their team by 20%, or are they going to get more juice out of their current equipment, what they have, right? And so, because right now they're buying.
They can't hire 20% of people if they wanted to, right?
That's right. Today they have the job of 10 people and 7 that can do it, right? And so that's why they're leveraging technology. So they have to continue to use technology and use systems that work well in the sandbox together, that work with the other products that are going to be inside the customer's ecosystem on day one. They need to deploy that so that way they can drive those outcomes this quarter, not next quarter, not next year, not 18 months, but what can we do to make those improvements now so that way we can affect the bottom line for this year, for this quarter?
That's right. And I know like one challenge that, and this may be, more of a mirage for some folks than real, or they just may build it up to be bigger than it is. But speak to like the data privacy and security concerns that folks have, because obviously all of what you're describing here, all what we're talking about sounds fantastic. But then there's this specter of IT in the background that's, we're worried about how are all these new solutions that we're bringing into our ecosystem going to make sure that we don't open the door to security breaches or exposing sensitive information. How should folks be approaching that, the way we think about data security?
Look, it's a valid question, right? Every CIO's office is asking the same thing around the security. How is our information going to be secured? They should be asking that question. For modern solutions that are built on credible products like AWS or Azure, these are problems that are already solved on the security side. So we have a great partnership. We have a great relationship with AWS. We should ask them to come onto the Wrench Factor in the future and talk about that very specific question, right? And we can bring in some of the experts that surrounds this particular topic. But I can tell you this is that for us and for our clients that are deploying MaintainX, so far this has never been a challenge for us, right? It's a question that always gets asked. There's a question around, is the data mine? Of course it's yours, right? There's this question sometimes around sharing machine data from the shop floor to the OEM. is that okay? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Today's users are very comfortable in doing that. Why? You have to ask that question too. Why are they comfortable in doing that? Well, they're comfortable because going back to what all of their objectives are right now is they have to have all of their production at a more profitable dollar than what it has been in the past. They have to continue that throughput. They have to continue their operations. They have to continue that asset availability. And they can't do it if they're waiting on parts, if they're waiting on service. So what can they do? They can share that asset performance data. They can share that information back to the OEM and engage that OEM at that point of transaction instead of waiting or, going to other third parties or, taking wrong steps or wrong actions that might lead to further downtime.
Right. And engage them on their terms, the client's terms. So share whatever information you want, but not, all of your information.
That's right. That's right.
I think the part of that security equation today too is also the control you have over what slices of data you share, which is, I think, just as important to understand that you don't have to open your whole ecosystem up to every part of this, every tool you bring in.
Yeah, no, I think, just like on your mobile device, how you're able to toggle on and off things that you want to share. That is exactly what all of our consumers all of our customers are expecting inside products that are in their shop floor, that are in their ecosystem. They're expecting something as simple as toggle on, toggle off. Do I want to share this information? Do I not? They're expecting a scenario where they're being proactively engaged from the OEM. They're expecting a scenario where they can automatically connect to the other products that are inside their ecosystem. They're really they're tired of having to segment their personal life and all of the luxuries of the interconnectedness of their phone and all of the things inside their home to then walk inside of a shop floor and having all of these disparate systems.
Step back in time.
It's a step back in time every time.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's
always been wild to me. You have all this really high-end modern equipment, and alongside it, you've got really analog or legacy solutions kind of driving the operations of it. But that the good news is that folks are talking about it. We're trying to figure out how do we get around this? How do we get less downtime? How do we become more productive? Build that data foundation. Get towards fast time to value instead of dragging these things out over many years, so that we can move towards this new world of implementing best-in-class AI tools and solutions to help them do more with less and do it securely. So, this has been a really fun first episode of the Wrench Factor. Thanks so much for watching, everyone that's watching, and thanks for joining here, Tyler. If you guys have any questions for us afterwards, feel free to drop some in the chat below or in the comments, and we'll be around happy to answer those. And if you want to learn more about how OEMs are helping solve supply chain challenges, click the link to our blog post in this post as well below. And we'll see you all next time. Thank you again, Tyler, for being here.
All right. Thanks for having me. Look forward to next time. Thanks.